Some of you, this is the first time you've been joining us, and so I'd like to real quickly give you my background. And for those of you that have heard me speak before, I want to share my background again, because what I'm going to be telling is my story and what I've picked up through over a decade now of being involved with real estate. I got started with real estate back in 2002, and my very first training was in how to buy houses, nothing down. It was back when, before we even had webinars, it was more like teleseminars. So it was a teleseminar training. It was very good training. I learned a lot, but the biggest thing that I took away from that course, what my very first mentor, one of the many things that he taught me, but one of the things he said to me which changed the course of my life was this. He said, you know, Lance, I made a lot of money doing houses, but I came to realize that to meet my financial goals, I needed to shift to multifamily. Multifamily provided bigger numbers in a shorter time period. And so that made all the sense in the world to me. So when I came out of my very first real estate training on houses, I came out looking to do apartments. And my very first real estate deal was a small apartment deal. I bought a fourplex, nothing down. And I will tell you right now, there is no more critical deal, in my opinion, in our real estate journey or in your real estate journey than getting that first deal done. Because once we get that first deal done, it becomes real for us from a subconscious standpoint. Because not only can we say this stuff works, it works for me. And so that's what happened to me. That first deal was a launching pad for me. And over the next 2.5 years of having done that first deal, I did 50 deals. And by the way, I was doing this on a part-time basis. I had a full-time corporate job, very high demanding, very time limited in terms of getting a business started. But I did 50 deals over the next 2.5 years, and I bought more fourplexes than I did 10 units, 50 units, 56, 85 unit projects, always using OPM, other people's money, because that's the leverage that I've been taught by my mentor. Ultimately, within 3 years of my start in small apartments, I was able to retire from my corporate job of 20 years. Walked in on a Friday morning and said, I'm done. And I left corporate America back in 2005, and I just continued doing the real estate thing. I was doing apartment deals, buying them, wholesaling them. I was 2 years into that, and I was approached by some colleagues at my local real estate club, and they said, Lance, we see you doing these bigger ticket deals using none of your own resources. Can you teach us how you're doing it? And so I said, okay. And so I launched my very first seminar back in 2007, and that's where my training business began. And many of you have come to be on today's webinar because of the training side of my business. Many of you are here because of the real estate side of my business, where we remain active. And what I'm going to be sharing with you today is techniques that students across the country are doing their very first deals or their very first apartment deals using these exact same techniques. And I'm going to tell you, the largest deals we've done to date with a student, it's an $11 million deal. 294-unit apartment complex, $11 million. And I can tell you, as a trainer, there's two things that I get excited about. Number one is doing deals, and number two is empowering others how to do these deals as well. And so when we do a deal with a student, that's like the holy pinnacle of everything put together. And so I'm going to tell you right now, if you guys have heard me speak before, my mantra is you don't need to graduate from single family to multifamily. You can start with multifamily.